ba 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 ba. If you're just joining us, Devan is going to be a little on the late side, maybe like 5 minutes or so. So whatever comes with that. Yeah, bum, 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 bum. Another day in the life. Too many buttons to press, too many things to do. Should probably go to the thing where I can see the chat. That makes sense. Video manager. That's not it. Live streaming. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Now I can see all the beautiful chatters when they chat. That will be so very nice. Okay. Think. Alright. Alright, I don't know what's going on. Okay, so it's smarter. Not a bad day again. Oh no, it appears he's running a little bit later than I thought. Oh, he's texting. He's setting up. Oh, this guy. You ever like went through your like friends that you may know on Facebook and go, I don't. I don't know why you would think I know them, but I don't. 'Cause that's what I've got going on right now. I have no idea who half these people are. Facebook, you have greater faith in me than I have in myself. Hey, that guy. Interesting. Sorry, you should have known. Alright, that'll get brought up on the podcast. Alright, let's put that away so I'm not tempted. What are you doing? How are we doing? We're doing okay, so that's alright, but not great. Come on, Devan Reno. Let's do your job. We're taking our jobs. Alright, let's see. No, that's not right. Oh. Nope. Oh. Oh gosh. Ever put in a password like 5 times wrong? Oh, look, it's the man of the hour. My keyboard's stuck. Oh, quit it. Oh.
Heyo.
Heyo.
Are you doing pre-show right now?
That's right, rocking that shit by myself.
Hey everybody.
Give him a couple seconds to get rolling. And me to finalize some setup stuffs now that he has a face.
Sorry for being late.
We'll get, yeah, quit looking handsome and going on dates with your wife.
Dude, I guess the timekeeper or time device that I was looking at was about 25 minutes off, so I was like, oh, I got plenty of time. And then I grabbed my phone, just had to look at my phone because it was in the car, and it was like, right. Oh, you have 15 minutes before the show starts.
Wait, your phone? Your phone? That seems
like what had the right time?
Well, no, because I was just informed that your phone, you did not have your phone.
Okay, well, my wife's phone. I mean, but okay. Really, yeah. It's mine, so. I mean, come on.
That shit, it's mine, really.
If we're playing, whose does it belong to? I gotta throw this. Oh, are we also.
Do your thing. We're just on pre-show. Like, I already put up a message. We're a couple minutes behind, so, like, don't stress.
tinyurl.com/tpaz. All right. I love seeing that every week.
Me too. I enjoy doing the live stream, and the more and more people that watch, the better.
Oh, that's what I need to do. Throw in. Live line. Boom. All right. I'm also gonna go ahead and put a picture up on the old. Shoot.
Did you guys eat anywhere good?
Yeah, man. We had pork, grilled steak, some kind of like russet potatoes that were really delicious, and then strawberry shortcake.
Oh, all of that sounds delicious.
It was really good.
What is this place called? Is it a chain?
Oh no, we had some friends invite us over.
Oh, well, even fucking better.
I know, cook for us, and man, they have a really nice house. Like not like nice, like it's like an older. It's in the older part of town.
Large, it's just nice, right?
Yeah, it is. Well, it's kind of a large home, I guess, compared to like what I'm living in.
Sure.
But they have really good taste in like the older antique type stuff. You know, they just know how to throw it together. Really nice. So.
Nice. That's one thing that sucks about doing the show on a Friday night. That like you're rushing to get home to do it, and so we may end up like pushing the time or something as life evolves. But right now, Fridays work well for most of us. But
that's what we do.
I say most of us. There's 2 of us here, and that's what's important. Most of us, 3/4 of us agree.
Oh, come on. What are you doing? Tiny you.
That's not what I wanted. Too many things going on at once. Shout out to Devan's wife being an MVP and taking care of Atlas by herself.
Well, he's pretty much taken care of now. He's got his belly fed. He'll be down shortly. But yes, thank you to her.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I'm just trying to, like, give her a shout out. And Devan goes, well, really? I mean, what does she really do, I got this.
She does everything. She's an amazing woman.
Yeah, I was setting you up for a tee, and you, instead of, like, spiking that shit, you just like, yeah, out of bounds, no big deal. Or you spiked it and she's on the other side with a nosebleed, like one of the two. Like whatever's more like efficiently devious. Alright, I need to close some of these open windows. But I need them. Okay, let's do this. Like, have you ever had like Chrome, or not Chrome, but maybe web browser stuff open, and you're like, I need that later. I don't want to bookmark it, I still need to read it. So like, I'm hesitant to close it. But I don't want anything but these 2 tabs in front of me for the show.
Hey, so also if you're on the pre-show right now and you're listening, I'll be chatting and we'll be chatting. So I just said hello. I just want to know who's in, so we can acknowledge
your existence.
I do have a funny story once we start up our weeklies.
Okay. Well, we're about to get rolling here. I mean, we're already 12 minutes behind, so let me press the right buttons and finagle the right switches, and we'll do our thing. How about that?
Sounds good, bro.
Alright, here we go.
Hi, I'm Devan, and I'm the pastor.
Hi, I'm DeWayne, and I'm the Atheist. And you're listening to the Pastor and Atheist Show. Hey.
Good evening. Sorry for being a little late, guys. Dude, Voldemort's on. Yes.
Ah, that's awesome. Yeah.
She's so funny.
Yeah, she's fucking time and a half. So this is episode 15.
That's a milestone. I love the word milestone for us. We use it for everything.
Yeah, it's like, you know what? We're 20 minutes on the show. Milestone. We made it. Another
Got a
show.
haircut yesterday. Milestone for the show.
You know what? I'm down for haircuts. And I also learned that sports clips will do, like, they'll shave your beard. They'll trim your beard for $5. And that's like a painful experience for me. It's just a big thing. Oh, hold on. I have a small
baby. It's worth
it. I have 2 small babies. What's going on, small babies?
I smell something.
Whoa.
Ew.
Okay, you can turn on real still, and you come here.
Aren't they the cutest?
Devan, you're going to have to take the reins here. I think I might have a dirty diaper, but I'm not
That's
sure.
fine, man. I'll go ahead and jump into weeklies. How about that?
Nope, we're good. She's wrong. She's just making stuff up.
Gross.
Okay, take the pups, and then go to bed. This interruption has been brought to you by DeWayne's 2 small children.
Bye, babies. We love them, man. We love kids.
We do. Absolutely. Just wait till Atlas is big enough and he just comes storming in that door behind you. Hey, what you doing? Does that seem important to you?
Well, I hope not. That's the closet.
Dad, I wanted to tell you real early.
Get back in your room. No. Well, we went a couple different ways.
Yeah, but either way, they're both great. Get back in your cupboard. You're not a wizard.
You'll get no food tonight for that. But Dad, I love you.
Oh, that's great.
Dad makes one of us.
So let's. First of all, you're not drinking anything, but I'm drinking lavender tea. You're drinking water. I'm drinking lavender tea from Tivana. Oh my god, dude, it's the best.
Love Tivana.
Oh my gosh. And I got a new presser that's like the bomb, not presser, tea maker device thing.
I know what you're talking about.
Dude, it's the process so much more simple. So let's get into weeklies, man.
All right. I will kick off. I guess I got some fun. So, not funny first is we're getting more involved with riding bikes around here. I guess Columbia, Missouri has a lot of trails. And so that's what people do. They run the trails, they bike the trails. and we just want something new for our family to do. And so I got a bike yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. So I bought it 2 days ago, and I test drove it like on a good 4 mile trip yesterday with my boss at work. I ride it the 4 miles. I get back like right into where my work is. I'm in the middle lane, turning lane, and the left pedal falls off. Like the whole arm, the whole bracket just falls off. And I was like, great, sold me a lemon. I should have known Craigslist. But there's like 5 bike shops around here, so it was an easy fix. Like they literally took 10 minutes to fix it back on. It was like, if you have any more problems, let us know. And it was like a 15 minute fix and $5. So that was cool. The funny thing I wanted to tell you, I'm in that group me with some of my students when I was a pastor, and one of them had said, what does the end of the world look like? Like what does it say about Jesus coming back? Like what does it describe it as? And so I just sent her to where it talks about it, and I was like, well, you go read it, go find out for yourself. I said also put that in the group me, that so everyone can. I want to see what people say because it's kind of like a cool thing for people to talk about. Well, somebody was like, well, I think it's like, somebody's going to look over if we're right at the end of the times, there's going to be just enough time where Christians look over at atheists and go, hey, told you so, man. And my kids, because they listen to the show, they reference you, DeWayne, as DeWayne, not the atheist or hey, your friend. They know you, it's like DeWayne, which is funny.
Yeah, that makes me happy.
They're like, I see DeWayne in the background with his arms folded and his head down, just like shaking his head, cursing under his breath. And I was like, that's him. That's what he would do.
Yeah, right. I'd look over. Not enough evidence. I need more proof. That's an elaborate hoax.
Like, am I being punked? Where's Ashton Kutcher at?
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny. And then also, I guess a new thing that I didn't realize, like, Homer Simpson, how he like chokes Bart. That you've seen those cartoons where he does that.
Oh God, poor Atlas.
Well, so I pretend to do that to Atlas, and now he does it back. Like he'll sit on us. And like,
the only difference is he doesn't get it's a joke.
He's just like straight faced.
I'm gonna do it. Yeah,
so cute.
That's perfect.
So that's me, man. Bikes, end of the world, and Atlas choking us. That's how I'd summarize this week. What about you?
That's a great soundbite. And Atlas choking us. Oh my God. Yeah, man, I had a really good week. So I've had an Apple Watch for like a week or two, for the second go around. But now that Voldemort has an Apple Watch, I was informed that you can like draw on it and send sketches to people.
Oh, that's cool.
Pretty interesting. Yeah, it's made it way more entertaining for me from like a notification / like status update device.
Right.
Now I can draw on it and draw silly pictures. And of course, being a guy, like one of the first things I send, fucking phallus, man. First thing that comes to my head. Well, that's what I gotta send.
It's in our genetics, right?
It is, absolutely. So Apple Watch sketches, pretty cool. I went to meditation this week, and meditation so far has brought me something different every week. This week it brought me that I really want to write again. Like I decided that I want to write again, which
I'm excited about because I love your writing, man.
Well, that's what's so like ironic about you picking up One Little Note again, because I don't think we even talked about it. Did you just start reading it on your own will, or did we talk about it and I missed that?
So I read when you first wrote it. Didn't you write it for the NaNoWriMo?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, so you wrote it for that, and you had sent it to me way back last year. And so I started reading the first half, and I guess somewhere along the way I just got busy, or it was on the desktop and it wasn't somewhere I could read it. And so I got through the first half, but then I was digging through our G Drive, or Google Drive for stuff, and found where you had like saved it in our email or something. And so I was like, oh great, perfect. And so I just finished the rest of it yesterday.
Well, that's really funny because I was literally just like saying I'm going to write again, and I started writing, especially with writing articles too. And then you just send me this shit like, hey man, I'm reading your book and it's fucking amazing. And I was like, that was perfect timing for what I needed, because I want to A, edit that, and B, I want to write another one.
You should push it out to our peeps too. Like that should be maybe something they get for tuning in, for listening. They get
absolutely. I mean, it needs to be edited like nobody's business first. Like it needs to be finished. I know I saw some like errors,
I saw it. But
especially writing off the Surface, like that Surface keyboard, which is where I did a lot of that, did not go well. my last thing, like, literally just happened about an hour ago, so I had to add it. So, we got the podcast tonight, and I'm like, I need to get all my shit in a row so I don't have babies coming in here. They proved me wrong. So we're doing the bedtime routine and stuff like that, and I was like, you guys need to clean your rooms. It's crazy. And so I'm going up there, and I'm making a little bit of coffee and a little bit of tea, and I'm getting ready. And Corin keeps coming up the stairs going, Alex isn't helping. Alex isn't helping. She's not cleaning. And I'm like, okay, first of all, you're not Alex. I'll be down there in a second. Like, you deal with you. I'll come deal with her. And so I go down, and I'm like, you need to clean your room. And she looks at me and just starts bawling.
It just explodes.
Yeah, and I was like, what? She says, I'm just so tired. And I was
cute.
like, clean your room. And so then I go over and set up everything I need for the podcast. And then she's cleaning, and she just drops all the toys halfway to the box and starts crying about being tired. And I was like, all right, you know what? Room's clean enough. Let's go put on some jammies. And she climbed into bed and everything. Obviously, she's still not asleep. She's not that tired. But I've never seen her like that much of a meltdown about being tired. And like the worst fucking wail about that. Like the cry. I was like, ugh. All right, I'll clean it, or we'll clean later. Like I can't make you do it right now.
Pick up that one toy and we'll go to bed. You both win.
Yeah, everybody wins. So yeah, that one just happened. Man, other than that, man, it's a really good week.
Sounds good, man. That's funny. Good weeks, yeah. I enjoy the good weeks, the better weeks.
Okay, so before we get into the rest of the topic, the rest of the rigmarole, I want to say two things. One, we're doing a big drive on the podcast about social media, about getting things out. So if you haven't followed, liked us, whatever, subscribe, favorited, rated, reviews, please, because we're going to be giving out bands soon. Second, the other thing we do around here, or have done, is done this like bit where Devan and I like joke around where like I do the majority of the work because I'm doing all the tech back end, and Devan just shows up and is pretty. That is very much not the case. Like Devan has been a big inspiration on the armbands and getting everything rolled out, and like has been picking up my slack the last couple weeks as far as like designing show notes and stuff like that. Well, no, what I mean is like usually we'll like collaborate to some degree. Like this episode is pretty much all you, and I was just like, yeah, that's great, good job, because it was all solid content. I didn't have to fucking think about it, and that was such a relief to not have to worry about it.
Good. I have a lot of dead downtime during my days at work sometimes, so it's like that's too easy.
Well,
I know you're busy.
I have had zero.
You go. I don't get that.
Yeah, I don't get that anymore. I don't have that. So I wanted to say that before we rolled into the quote of the week.
Well, thank you, sir.
Okay, so to roll in the quote of the weeks, we wanted to start doing quotes every week, things that inspire us or interest us, and kind of just run through the quote and what it sort of meant to us, and let the other comment on it. But just a quick kind of thing to give you some flavoring before we go to the main topic.
I think of ramen noodles as soon as you say that. Like what flavor?
Every time, yeah,
chicken.
because ramen noodles.
That's
no, chicken's good. Shrimp's real good too. I like the shrimp flavoring. I don't want the little like weird ass crusty shrimp. I want those out, but I want the shrimp powder.
Oh, that's funny. I want the shrimp powder. Do they make that? Like, can you just buy the shrimp powder? Like,
yeah, can I just buy that? I can get everything on Amazon, so clearly.
Oh gosh.
All right, so your quote is actually looks like lyrics, maybe.
It is lyrics, yeah.
Okay.
And it's from, if many people probably know it. It's from I think it's, I can't remember the last CD, but it's Linkin Park. But they have a line in one song that says, "Are you in the firing squad or are you in the lineup?" And I've always like, I don't know why I've like loved that, but to me it's like, are you attacking it or are you just gonna let things sit by and happen to you? Because if you're in a lineup, man, there's not a whole lot you can do. Or are you the guy that's on the offensive? No, that's kind of like a brutal way to put it. Like, I'm about to kill all these people. I'm about to be dead. But to me, it's like, are you going to go get it? Or are you just going to let things happen to you? And I feel like lately, even just like this podcast, man, we're wanting to go get it. And things in my life, like we're really wanting to branch out, not just be at home all the time. So that's why we're going to get bikes. And we're just trying to really go get it lately and not just stand by and let our life go by. Let our son grow up and not experience a lot of things. So that one really resonated with me over this past couple days, this week.
Yeah, I like that one. It's very similar to the good men. I don't know the quote off the top of my head, but the one where it's like the good men stand by.
Oh, all it's necessary for evil to win is for good men to do nothing, something like that.
It's very similar to that, just more like self-motivational, where this
Yes.
one's like a good evil thing. For me, my quote is actually came from a conversation with between me and Voldemort. And it's actually primarily her quote, but when I heard it and then I saw that we were doing quotes, I was like, oh, well, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, too easy. So we were talking about, I don't remember exactly how it came up, but we were talking about like people in relationships and things like that, as far as like how people decide how they love somebody or how they like somebody or whatever.
Right.
And she was saying, and she said something different, but I boiled it down to this. You should ache for someone, not their validation.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, did she come up with that?
Yeah. Either she like stole it from somebody and has yet to tell me, or she came up with that and she's way smarter than I am. It's
Voldemort,
most likely
kudos.
the latter. Yeah, it's most likely the latter. But all the same, I heard that and was like, or read that and was like, that's amazing. So, I need to shout out to your wife who's freaking hysterical. Since Devan didn't have his phone, she messaged me on Facebook, and I was like, wait, we're not friends on Facebook. I'm changing this. And she was like, yeah, add me. I was like, whoa, I don't appreciate commanding this. And she goes, I should have known you'd have something smart to say. I was like, all right, that's true. She's got me. Yeah, you win. All right, what do we got next? Top 5?
Top 5, man. So this is something fun. Like last week we did the top 10 video games of our youth.
This time
And
I'm prepared.
people just I like lists. I like lists. I don't know what it is about lists, but I love them. And so this week we landed on the top 5 ways you know that you're an adult. The top 5 ways you know you're an adult. Do you want to roll out first, or do you want me to go first?
Sure, I'll go first.
Go for it.
So, the top 5 ways, my top 5 ways that you know you're an adult. Number 5, all of your time suddenly has a dollar amount attached to it.
Dude, I didn't read these. So I'm like, as you're doing them, I'm hearing it. So that's really funny.
Number 4, you woke up and something hurt, but you're not sure why.
It didn't hurt yesterday, but now like something.
Yeah, you wake up and go, all right, that's weird. You didn't work out, nothing. Number 3, naps seem like the unobtainable treasure at the end of a rainbow.
I get the vision. You're driving down the road, and then they're like, "Dad, what's at the end of that rainbow?" You go, "Nap time."
Naps. Naps. Loads and loads of naps, son.
Sleep
I heard
time.
gold. You are wrong.
Sleeping is gold, so you are right in your own way.
Number 2, losing your wallet is a whole new level of fuck me.
Boom.
And last but not least, the number 1, the idea of hanging out with most teenagers scares the shit out of you.
Well, I guess for most people, like because I guess I'm a big kid and I'm around that and was a pastor. It has to come with the territory.
No, I don't mean, I'm sorry, let me qualify that with, I don't mean 12 to 18. They're still children. I'm
Okay.
scared of 18 and 19 where they think they're adults.
And carry guns. For sure, they all do.
And they're not adults by any means. I don't want it. I don't want it. When Corn and Alex hit 18 and 19, I'll be like, I don't know you. Maybe I'll change a little bit. Maybe I'll like them more. But so far, I'm not into anybody at that age.
That's so funny. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Dude, those are pretty good. I didn't read them just because I kind of wanted to hear them as we were going through them.
Yeah, I read your first one to get a feel for what you were looking for. I was like, all right, I know what he's wanting.
I got it.
And so I want to hear these other ones live, so I did not read them on purpose. The same with the next week's for the kids.
Oh yeah. So wait, so you didn't read those, or you kind of did?
I read your number 5. That way I can
Yeah.
get a feel for what you're looking for.
Okay.
And then I want to hear the rest of them in person.
Good. Hey, I have a lot of people saying that when they click the link, it doesn't take them to our live session.
No, it takes them to the YouTube page. And
Okay.
there should be like a live button you can click. Like it says live down there. I didn't tell them never fear. It's something I plan on working on. It's something we stitched together, and it's on my list of things to tackle this week.
Okay.
But when they go to tinyurl.com/tpaz, it should take them to tinyurl.com/tpaz. keypad. Should take them to our YouTube channel, and it should show like a live thing.
Yes.
They can click. So there is one extra click. I apologize in advance. It will be fixed. It should be fixed next week.
Good. I think I got some people. Well, that's good. We get people who are like getting in, but yeah, we'll get that fixed. We'll work on that for sure.
Yeah, that's on me. I'll take care of it. I can't take care of it now, but I will.
Oh, some of it's saying, oh, they got to go to videos. I guess they didn't realize that.
Yeah, that's what I've said. That's why I want to change it. So we'll get that taken care of. I plan on putting it in our website, just embedding it on our website, but I got to get through the technical hurdles. We'll figure that out. All right, so what's your top 5, man? Let's roll through.
Top 5 ways you know you're an adult. Number 5, it hurts to think about seeing midnight showings of any movie, ever.
Dude, reading that one, I resonated so hard. Mainly because Brian makes fun of me all the time. Because we'll go see it like at 10 o'clock, and I'll fall asleep.
It's just going to...
Like an hour in, I'm ready to go to sleep. Yeah.
Yeah. So, there's that one. Number 4, you get excited about buying things like a kitchen table. We did that. That actually happened this past week. I was so excited.
Yes. That's amazing.
Number 3, anytime you get a chance to play Destiny, or you can put whatever video game in place, anytime you get a chance to play a video game, you have to end up doing an update first because it's been so long since you played it.
I think I experienced that recently, actually.
Yeah. Dude, it happens to me. I know, like, now... I avoid playing because I'm like, I'm going to have to wait for an update. Like, it's not going to be instantaneous when I go to play.
Yeah, and that's all you want from it. It's a little gratification right then.
Okay, number 2, you do a happy dance when no mail comes because no mail equals no bills today.
Oh, I love that one. Every time I get mail, I'm like, oh, son of a fucking, like, especially because everything's digital. Like, for me especially, when mail comes in, it's somebody somewhere going, well, you owe us money, and this is the last address we had.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing also is, so the apartment we moved into, I guess the guys who moved out do not know what a change of address form is, and so we get tons of their mail. And so it's like a game of Russian roulette, but with mail. Like, is it going to be me? Is it going to be me? Is it going to be me?
Crap!
Most of the time, it's not. But these people just keep like.
But you have a lot of scratch paper now, though. Like, after a certain point. You just start writing on the envelopes.
Daddy walks by the trash can on the way in, and I just toss it.
You throw away mail? That's illegal.
No, not as far as the podcast is concerned.
Nice.
You know what I say? Prove it. Well, no, we what Dakota has done, because she's the mature one. She has taken like the stacks of mail, and she'll tape them up, and she'll put these people don't live here anymore. And put their names on it, and then she sends it back, like puts it in the return mail. But we've been doing that for 3 months. Like,
yeah, no. So you do that twice at most in the course of a month. Everything else gets tossed. Sorry.
Yeah. And
sorry, trees and environment.
Well, you know, we kept stuff that was like their like their returns, tax returns. We knew it was tax returns. We sent that because it's important stuff. But if it's like Citibank or like, no, that's going.
No, in fact, you open that shit up and go, is this a good deal? No.
Can I use this man's card? And then number 1 for me, the last one I have, the top way you know you're an adult. The only way you get to see late night is if you DVR it the next day, watch it the next day.
I love that one because your 5 and your 1 roll right in together.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just like I love watching movies, but it's not going to be after 9 o'clock.
No way.
Don't try to get my wife to watch it. So this happens more often than not. So now, because we have Atlas and you can't go to the movies, we have to get Redbox or Netflix or whatever. But Redbox has some of the more recent movies that come out that we want to see. But if I get a movie and I know if we don't go, I take that back. When we go lay down, because we put Atlas down with us, he sleeps with us. She's going to be watching about the first 10 minutes of the intro, and then it's just like. It's snore time for her. She's not going to stay up, and we waste $2, probably 4 days in a row, keeping a movie until she watches bits and pieces, like chapters.
Are you going to watch a little bit? Let's resume. You watch a little bit? Let's resume. Devin being a good guy, not just watching it all at once.
Oh, I do. I watch the whole thing. And I'm like, no, I don't know. Sometimes
he watches the whole thing 4 times.
I know every word.
You're like, I love this part. What? Nothing?
We just recently finished The Hateful Eight.
Oh, that movie's so fucking long. I've yet to watch it because I don't want to dedicate 3 hours of my life to something like that.
We didn't know it was 3 hours, but we've been watching that for like 2 months now, trying to get
I can't imagine watching that in like theaters, and you sit down and you're like, you're in for the long haul. Like it comes with a fucking catheter. Like I don't know, dude.
I feel like I'm getting my money. Like the longer a movie is, I don't care if it sucks. I'm getting my money's worth. Like to me, it feels good to be in a long movie. Like people who watch Titanic probably were like, we're making we're doing really good to pay this much for the movie, and it's like 17 hours long.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I couldn't do that in theaters, man. Like at least at home you can pause it and like fucking anything else.
Take a break.
So yeah, man. Let's go into the main topic. Yeah.
Ooh, main topic sounds good. And this is, to me, I think is a really good one to really, it's like a gut checker a little bit for me and for us, I would assume.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I got your document on there too, if, I don't know if you saw it on there.
Yeah, your bullet points, you did a good job of outlining pretty much everything I wanted to say, which is great. That means I don't have to do even more work, which is Devin.
I can give a background for what we got going on.
Yeah, please.
So the topic today comes from an article that I heard at church actually last week. It's so funny that I hear this stuff and I'm like, hey, don't worry about a topic. I'll go to church and we'll have something. That's
twofold. I no longer have to work for topic and I don't have to go to church. Yes.
Well, then I threaten you. I'm like, I'm not going to church anymore. It's like, wait, do I win? Does that make me?
Is that a winner? Do we stop the podcast here? That's all right.
But this is a New York Times article. It is written by William Irwin, and the article is called "God is a Question, Not an Answer." Now, immediately, my Christian brethren are you're gonna feel like I'm a hater. But no, this is, and then the atheists, don't get too excited, especially if you think like, haha, we're gonna win this one. This is not what this article is about. It's written by an atheist, and his whole premise is. But we'll get into it. But there's several points that we want to talk about tonight. So we're going to go ahead and jump into this article that says God is a question, not an answer.
And it's also possible one of two things will happen. This will carry over into next week, or we'll just roll longer. Because I really want to talk about all these points you put up.
Yeah.
Some are short, some are long. But I'd rather, if we can put it in one episode, I'd rather do that.
Yeah, no problem. And a lot of them are just like some good quotes that I pulled from there. Yeah. I didn't even realize one of the points that I always use for myself. It's like, well, at the end of the day, here's the thing I fall back on, the logical, and it's Pascal's wager. I didn't realize that that was his thing.
Oh, I love Pascal's wager because that's my best arguing point to take somebody down. And it's funny that you use it as your fallback point.
Isn't that great?
Use it as my main point of what are you doing? You're in the wrong boat. So I can't wait for that conversation. So let's roll on to your first point.
So I guess the first one was a quote that I pulled, and this guy says, "Any honest atheist must admit that he has his doubts, that occasionally he thinks that he might be wrong, that there could be a God after all, if not the God of the Judeo-Christian tradition, then a God of some kind." And so he points that one specifically at atheists, but he's not attacking it. Again, he's very good article, and you'll see why a little bit later. But I would ask you, what's your response to that? If being honest.
No. So here's our theme for this episode. If we're being honest, right? Because it's very easy for us both to sit on the line and go, no, we're totally fucking right. So for me, and I think we'll do a podcast about our histories. In depth one time, but for me, I became an agnostic very early in life, and that translated into atheism. But that's not to say that I haven't had my doubts, or that I haven't internally looked at myself and went, damn, it would be so much easier to just believe. It would be so much more comforting to believe. It's just not in my toolkit to do that. I think a couple of years ago, Devin, I maybe because I remember talking to you about it, that I was like, man, it would just be so much easier to believe, and it would just be do I have that capacity?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, that's exactly what you said.
And so I think I went to church around that time once, and it was a nice stark refresher for me to go, oh no, this is definitely not my cup of tea.
I don't want to.
I don't want it. Like, I don't know. But yeah, I think if you're on the atheism fence, to say, not on the fence, if you're in our yard of atheists and go, nope, no fucking way, then I think you should probably do some more self assessment. I think is a good way to look at that. I don't know. I don't believe you can be so starkly like, I'm what I consider a 99% atheist. 99% of me is correct, and then there's that 1% every now and then that spikes up going, could she be wrong? Because if you don't check yourself, like, then you're the guys who's like, well, blacks aren't good, and you never update with the times.
Yeah, like, never mind.
Devin goes,
I almost said
I got a
somebody.
really good joke. Nope.
No, it wasn't. I'm not racist. I was gonna say
out somebody.
Yes. Yes. I almost did.
You were about to call somebody racist on the podcast.
Now, this person will never listen. They're not going to listen, but on the off chance that they do, I don't want this to be the episode that they give me that call for. Gosh. Oh my gosh.
I would have paid you so much money to do that.
Just tell us who the racist is. It's Donald Trump. It's Donald Trump.
He goes, we want funding. Pay money. Donate here, so I'll tell you who the racist is live on air.
I'll just tell you, we're getting a lot of wristbands sent to Donald Trump.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
We just lost a lot of people.
The viewer count goes to 0, like negatives.
Funny.
Oh, YouTube takes us down. Oh my god. That was so good.
Yeah, so the second point, and it goes on beyond that, saying if an atheist doesn't have his doubts, that occasionally he might think he's wrong, and it says he can neither believe, and this is talking about the person who doesn't doubt whether God exists or he doesn't exist, so it's talking to the atheist and the Christian, saying he, being both parties, can neither believe nor be comfortable in his unbelief, and he's too honest and courageous not to try to do one or the other. I don't know, man. I think I've said this to you before, that somebody who has beliefs but can't really like back them up or can't really defend them, that to me is someone. Sometimes it's hard for me to. If I'm in the middle and I have to pick, and you're one side or the other, but you can't tell me why, like defend your point a little bit. I'm not gonna step out. That's just not. It's gonna happen for my.
So I think that what that quote really does is it gives you a good qualification. It allows you to qualify somebody very quickly, because if you can't defend your belief system, if you can't give a solid here's why I believe what I believe. I may be wrong, but here's why I believe what I believe. That automatically is probably going to lump you into the agnostic territory. Because if you're not stark enough to make a defense, regardless of whatever it is, or an offense, however you want it, a justification for your belief system, then you're probably sitting in the middle of the fence.
Well, and one of the things I've always told my students is a lot of, and this is across America. When I'm talking about students in church, I'm talking about America, like typical Bible Belt. Like this is what I see from that aspect. This is not contain everyone. But students who come to church and have been raised in church typically come because it's just part of their tradition. Their parents bring them. They come to the lesson. They eat
indoctrination, baby.
Whatever. Their parents bring them, and that's just what they do. But their faith in God and their faith in the Bible is not their own. It's their parents. And so if you ask any average middle school to high school student, even maybe even college, and you say, why do you think the Bible's real, or why do you think that this is the way? Because they haven't made their faith their own, they can't tell you, because they haven't had a chance to even, they haven't thought for themselves if this could be untrue, because they don't ask those questions, they don't have the doubts, because it's got to be your own before you can say, well, am I right, or is that a good point that atheist made that I should consider?
Yeah, man, if I talked to a college student and asked them why they believe in God and they couldn't give me an answer, I would be like, well, welcome to the team. Welcome to the team. Because if you can't defend believing in God, you're on agnostic ground, and honestly, it's not a far stretch to pull somebody into the atheism camp. It's really not. But again, I think that's a good quote to qualify somebody's belief system. So number 3 is anyone who does not occasionally worry that he may be a fraud almost certainly is. Nor does the worry absolve one from the charge. One may still be a fraud, just one who rightly worries about it on occasion. Likewise, anyone who does not occasionally worry that she is wrong about the existence or non-existence of God most likely has a fraudulent belief.
That took me a little bit to digest. I don't know if you have an easy way to break that one down.
I think the best way to look at that one is if you're not willing to question yourself, then you're most likely just one of those fake it till you make it people. So you may have not like accepted what you believe as a belief and have a good like personal formulation of why that's the way you believe things. And I think it's a good rule of thumb, and this is a good quote to bring that in, that always to self-analyze, like as you grow older especially, but always check, why do I do this? You know, why is this for me? Why do I believe this? I think why am I friends with this person, or why is this relationship going poorly, whether it be friend, family? Like, if you're not willing to look at, and again, I'm borrowing this from somebody because this is a great fucking metaphor. If you're not willing to look at your side of the table, then you can't expect somebody to clean up their side of the table.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's great. I think about this. Now, I want to have a little disclaimer. It's like, just because you have doubts doesn't mean like, oh gosh, if a Christian, if me as Devan says, well, man, I don't know how this happens. I have doubts about whether this is true in the Bible. Doesn't mean you're an atheist. I think a lot of people, because they have doubts, automatically think, well, I don't want to be an atheist, and so I'm going to pretend I don't have any doubts, so I'm not going to ask questions. And I think the same is true probably for atheists, right? That some people who don't believe in God but question that think, man, am I going to be, and I know they think Christians like, am I going to be an idiot? Am I going to believe in this imaginary being?
No, see, I think atheism, I think this applies more to believers than it does non-believers, but I think it sits on both sides of the fence. Because I think you typically become a non-believer because you're questioning things. Where I think it applies to us is that we're most likely going to question it and disregard whatever answer you give us. Like, we'll ask the question, but we're not willing to take whatever answer you give us anyways. So I think atheists need to be more open to, like if I ask you, like, why do you think God exists? And you give me an answer, and I'm like, oh, that's just not enough. I don't like it. I mean, like, because I'm closed off. Like, it doesn't do me any good to ask a question closed. Like, I have to be open to whatever answer you're going to give me anyways.
Yeah.
Where I think most Christians, they're just scared to ask the question. They're scared to bring doubt into the mix.
I think
doubt
so.
typically strengthens faith.
Yes.
If anything.
On either side. I mean, and by faith, there's a couple ways you can look at it. Of course, there's the Christian faith, and well, actually, let's. Is that what we're on that point right now? Right? No, we're not. We'll get into that in just a second. I don't want to jump ahead of what we're talking about. To me, I would feel like for atheists, and correct me if I'm wrong, the point, like the crux or the moment when it would be most important for them to be like, man, I wish I would have believed, would probably be if God exists, it would be the end. It would be the end of time. Like, that's when you would be like, crap. But I think for Christians, it's like throughout their life. To say, man, if I'm questioning this, am I a believer? Am I, where do I stand? But for atheists, I think it would be only really at the end of time, if there is God, to determine heaven or hell. They would be like, this is where this is the big question. This is where it really mattered. This is where it should have, where I should have made my decision way before now.
So I can't speak for all atheists, but I know for me, if I'm going to have a crisis of faith, it's going to happen in one of two scenarios. It's either going to happen right before I die, because people typically have crises of faith before their death, or if they're faced with their own mortality. Like, I feel like that's, if any time, like, that's going to be the time that I'm most malleable to a change. The other being, like, if the world does end and God peeks his head up from the clouds going, I told you so, and then fucking demons rule the world. Like, yeah, then I might be like, you know what? That there Bible's looking pretty good. I should probably go absolve my sins. But might be too late at that point.
It might. I don't know. I've heard things. Maybe
Does the Bible say whether it's too late to accept God after Armageddon?
Well, there's a couple people there's a few different beliefs about Revelation. Some people think that Jesus hasn't come yet, and that he'll. Have you heard about? I have the whole series here. It's the Left Behind series.
I saw the first movie.
Terrible. Don't base it on that. So,
Got
it's
it. Got
the
it.
whole idea of the rapture, in that some people believe that Jesus hasn't come back yet, and when he does come, he'll set up like he'll take X number. It's supposed to be 144,000, which is like 12,000 from the 12 tribes of Israel. Anyways, he'll take some, but he'll leave everyone who like did make it. You know, like you get cut from the team, and so you get like a second chance for 7 years. You get to try for a second chance, but even then, it talks about how there's people who didn't believe. But then there's the rest of us that are like, well, hey, Jesus already was here. There's not going to be a time where he comes and sets up a, when Jesus comes back, that's it. Like we're done. Like, so this is the life you get. Don't count on those 7 years of terrible misery and pain here on earth to make your decision.
Interesting. I don't
Yeah.
like that 7 years. The Left Behind series. Is
No,
terrifying.
dude, it's a good series to read. Like if you wanted to read and kind of just even get an understanding of the Bible without having to read it, like that would be a good story way to do it. Those guys do a really good job of writing those books.
I will look. You know what I found? Speaking of books that are religion based, I found it and I have to find it again. The book you lent me and you said, if you're gonna get rid of it, give it back. And I was like, no, there's no way. But I still haven't finished it yet. It's by C.S. Lewis.
With Mere Christianity, is that right?
Yes. I've got it here and I've got to finish it. Because I made it like a quarter way through or a third through and just set it down and never picked it back up. But yeah, I need to finish that now that we're talking about Left Behind. So number 4, people who claim certainty about God worry me. Me and you both, brother. Both those who believe and those who don't believe. They do not really listen to the other side of conversations. We just talked about that. And they are too ready to impose their views on others. It is impossible to be certain about God. Christians and atheists both have faith.
No, this is me. I put this note in. This was not from him.
Okay, cool. Even better. All right. So, this is from the mouth of Devan. Christians and atheists both have faith. Christians is a faith in what they believe but cannot see, and atheists have a faith in what they can measure and detect with the senses.
That was just a thought, and I don't know if you would put it that, but that to Christians, that's what faith is in that sense. It's believing in what we cannot see. And I know, like, that to atheists who base it on what is measurable, what can I detect, what can I see, what can I test, what can I hypothesize. That's pretty dumb what you guys just said. But that's what Christianity is. Like at the end of the day, the line says it. It's impossible to be certain about God. But where we split is I believe in this thing even though I can't prove it.
So I'm going to borrow from someone who messaged me last week, and he was talking about, and I meant to tell you about this. My old boss sent me his theories on belief versus faith. And he had a really good quote, but I think his quote would have been a little bit better if he organized it a little more. But faith versus people without faith, right? So people with faith say, I know it's over there, and I don't need to know anything more. And people who want fact or like anti-faith people say, I think it's over there, and I'm going to find out for sure. So
I like that.
You go, God's real. That's enough for me to say it. And I say, God's not real. Or God is real. I need to go find out. And when I can't find out, I easily go, well, then God can't be real. So I think that's a good determining point between the two, because I think that goes really well with Christians have a faith that they believe but cannot see, and atheists rely on scientific evidence.
We titled this, and this is a good point, I guess, to bring. So we titled this, "If I'm Being Honest," because from a Christian standpoint, there are a lot of times even now, like doing this podcast, especially, like there are things I didn't think of. We get emails from listeners. I hear DeWayne say things. My wife and I talk. I hear other Christians talk, and so at some points I'm like, man, did this really happen in the Bible? Is the Bible real? God, show me yourself. Like I believe in you, but I need you to speak to me. I need some solid proof. And I think if you're a Christian, and sometimes you're not saying that, like to me, it's almost like this guy saying, are you have to doubt to have the faith, like because I may doubt and I may have those questions, but getting answers to those, and I don't think we have answers to everything, of course, and I won't know everything, but I think I have enough. I think I've got enough to say God exists, the Bible is good, God is good. Now we can debate the other million things, but sometimes I'm a what the preacher called that we went to church at a skeptical believer. That at times, when people say, "Hey, God did this for me," or "God did that for me," or "God put this in my path," it's hard for me personally, not for Christians. It's hard for me to be like, "Yeah, that's it." You know, I still question it. I feel like I'm on that side that needs the answers as a Christian, but doesn't need the answers. To me, it's so confusing. But if I'm being honest, that's where I'm at. Sometimes it's confusing for me to know, you know, is this the right way? Is God, does God mean this? I have maybe some of the same questions that DeWayne has, but I just am like, I err on the side of God is good, there is a heaven, and I want to live a certain way, you know, according to what the Bible says, and I want to help people get there too. So if I'm being honest, man, I have my doubts. That's too easy. I have my doubts, but I still believe in the end of the day.
Yeah, I think you have to have your doubts, because if you're so starkly sure that this is what it is, and I say I'm definitely, again, 99% sure I'm right, but you know, if you don't have doubts, there's no proof. There's really no proof either way. So we can talk about this for years to come. That's the beauty of this podcast.
People have been, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they've been doing it before us. They'll be doing it after us, because there is no true proof. And if you don't doubt yourself, you're one of those people that's like, 2 + 2 = chair, and you can't prove otherwise. And you're like, no, actually, I can use math. And you're like, nope, it doesn't exist. So I agree 100% that you have to have some doubt, and the podcast has definitely provided some doubt for me. The biggest thing for me personally that the podcast has done, and your friendship has done, is given me hope that the majority of the people who I dislike because they're believers either are uninformed, or they're just used to being an aggressive believer, and that you know, like, you can still be like a nice person to an atheist without being while being a believer yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
So number 5, I'm pretty excited about. I'll let you say it because it's your bag, but
yeah. So
well,
I'm interested to hear like how you take that, because I don't think I've ever heard like an atheist point of view, like using Pascal's wager. If you're not sure what Pascal's wager is, it's the argument that it is in one's own best interest to behave as if God exists, because the possibility of eternal punishment in hell outweighs any advantage of believing otherwise. And so that's the technical definition. Put differently would be like, if I'm a Christian, and God exists, if God does exist, and I live the way that the Bible says, then my reward is heaven. But if I don't live a certain way, my reward is hell. That's if God exists. Now, if I'm a Christian and God doesn't exist, then I just get a plot in the ground. But then the opposite view of that is, as atheists, if they're living the way they are and God does exist, then according to the Bible, like, hell would be that option. Like, that's what it says. And so what Pascal's saying is, you might as well believe that God exists, because if he does, then the reward is so much better than finding out that he doesn't exist and you've lived a certain way. I don't know if I confuse that even more. I've heard it so many times, like, I get it, you know, like, I know.
The best way to describe Pascal's wager is believing in God is your safe bet. It's like,
right, yeah. You can sum it up to that.
You either go to hell or you believe in God. Like,
it's like
you don't really know, you might as well do your safest bet possible. Make the move with the least risk. And that's why I love Pascal's wager so much, because it sets it up to a T to give, and one of the easiest way to convert somebody from religion to atheism is to give them the superiority complex, which then turns them into the worst of the atheists who think they're the best in the world. But it's a good conversion technique. That being said, Pascal's wager is perfect because it goes, do you want to be one of those people who makes the safe bet? Hold on one second. Hey, what? In just a minute.
That is so cute.
Just a minute. So, do you want to be the person who makes the safe bet, who isn't willing to go on the edge because it's safer to believe in God. And that's, to me, that's such a scare tactic, to be like, well, if you don't believe in God, you're going to hell. Okay, first of all, great. If I use a microwave, I'm getting cancer. If I ride down an elevator, I'm getting cancer. So basically, they're telling me, everywhere I go, I'm getting cancer. So what do I do? And that's the same theory. You're literally just saying, you might as well believe. You might as well be false. Because if you, if you don't, you're going to hell. And furthermore, if you believe in God to just get to heaven, pretty sure God's going to see through that and go, hey, DeWayne, you just don't want to go to hell, do you? Yeah, if we're being honest.
If we're being honest.
Yeah, none of that sounds good to me. So it's Pascal's wager is a bullshit argument because you can't believe in God for the sake of not going to hell. That doesn't work.
I agree. I agree totally about that.
Like, the Bible definitely says somewhere not to be like a false idol or some shit. I'm sure the Bible says somewhere, like, don't falsely believe in God or something like that, or lie to yourself, either or.
Well, I can tell you that if you're somebody who believes in God simply because you want to avoid hell, then you don't have it yet. Like, you don't get what the whole thing's about. Like exactly that. If that's a scare tactic, like, that's not what it's for. If you're avoiding, yeah, I get what you're saying totally, man. Like, but if you are a Christian, you're somebody who is devout. You're attempting to live that way. I always say attempting because we're not perfect. No one is living that life 100%.
Speak for yourself, sir.
You go, well, in atheism, I got it going on.
Yeah, I'm really good at this whole atheism bit.
Yeah, but if you are living for God out of fear, then you don't know why you serve God. Like, you don't get it. And I would love to talk to you about it if you're somebody who, like, thinks, hey, maybe that's me, and that's okay if you ask that question. It's stuff like this. If we're being honest, we have those questions.
Yeah, I love the idea that you use Pascal's wager to convert people.
No, I don't use it to convert people.
Oh,
but that,
okay.
like, to me, it's just, and I've heard a lot of people say it, but they don't say Pascal's wager, but they say, as Christians, one of the most comforting things that they have at the end of the day, because they ask the same question, is God real, is God not? But the most comforting thing they have that they can I guess logically put in their own mind is to say, well, if God does exist and I'm living X way according to this Bible, then I get heaven. But if I'm not and I'm wrong, then it's hell. And so I guess if I'm, now that I'm saying it, even if somebody thinks it, it's almost like they're saying, I don't want hell. So
yeah.
Again, so if I'm being honest, something to think about. Maybe I don't even care about Pascal's wager anymore either.
I do love Pascal's wager, but that's because it's very advantageous for me to use.
I will use it against you.
And you will fail horribly.
Fail.
Number 6. Is a decision a judgment that is fully and deliberately taken in the light of a truth that cannot be proven?
This is faith. That's what I describe. I think I left a word out.
It is not merely the acceptance of a decision that has been made by somebody else.
Yeah, so
you have a sub-point there.
Yeah, that was just the guy who wrote it. I didn't the way the Word document was.
Sure, so, yeah, and that's written by a Trappist monk, Thomas Merton. So basically, a decision is a judgment that is fully and deliberately taken in the light of a truth that cannot be proven.
That's faith. Sorry,
faith is a decision. Okay, so basically, faith. He's defining faith as you're making a choice without all the evidence and without evidence that is provable.
Yeah, it is not merely the acceptance of a decision that has been made by somebody else. So he's saying, maybe you've read the Bible or you see that you're not just taking it like because somebody else told you, maybe, which is the case for everyone. You should be reading the Bible because that's the only true authority of God. And for you to only be taking somebody's word at something, anybody can lie to you about anything. And if you seem confident enough, you can sell it. And a lot of people do. A lot of people sell religion that way. A lot of people sell atheism that way.
Well, most people who believe in God and religion based on that, they're taking it on someone else's authority. And that's an actual, there's like a term for that, where you take information on somebody else's authority, and it's like the weakest form of knowledge, to take it on somebody else's authority. So if you're believing in God or not believing in God because somebody else coerced you, you're doing it wrong. Like, no matter what you believe, you're doing it wrong because you didn't hunt that answer down for yourself.
And then again, your faith is not your own, and I would say you still don't get it.
Yeah. Your faith or lack of faith has to be yours, and you have to own it and you have to respect it and question it daily. I would say. I question mine all the time. I go, can I handle being more correct than Devan? And then I go, yeah, absolutely.
Look at all these books on my bookshelf, man. I'm definitely smarter than you.
You know what's fucked up is I had that green screen that I was using, so I'm going to get that green screen out, and I'm going to, like, Photoshop the fucking grandest of libraries behind me, and I'm going to turn around. Look at all these books I have. I've read each of them back to forth and front to back. I mean, yeah, man.
That is so funny. Because I have this door with my child in the closet over here, and then
Can I come out now, Dad? No!
If I'm being honest, most of those things are DVDs on that shelf.
Yeah, I can see the top row. The bottom row looks real solid. And then he goes, those are photo albums. But, you know.
Those are actually like the fake bookends that just look like books. They're not actually pages in them.
So, number
move
7?
on to 7? Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Number 7 says, and this is sort of, it's closing off the end of this thing, and it's been talking about how everyone, Christian or atheist, has to have some kind of doubt. You have to. If you've made it any length of a journey into your faith or your lack thereof, because let's be honest, both of them are a faith. You have a set of beliefs, DeWayne, you have a set of beliefs toward atheism, but then there's another set of beliefs that you don't believe in, which is Christianity. And just like I have 2 set of beliefs. One is Christianity, which I am strongly for, and I have another set of beliefs, of course, that I'm not really paying attention to, which is the unbelief. And so he's saying, rather than seeking security of an answer, having to be right, perhaps we should collectively celebrate the uncertainty of the question. And 7 and 8 can go together. He goes on to say, this is not to say that we should cease attempts to convince others of our views. Far from it. We should try to unsettle others as we remain open to being unsettled ourselves. In a spirit of tolerance and intellectual humility, we should see ourselves as partners in a continuing conversation, addressing and enduring the question. And I would dare say that last paragraph sums up our show.
Yeah, I think that's solid. I do want to pick apart one thing you said, but I think I want to wait because I want to focus on what they're saying. Or what he's saying. It's always a battle to convince somebody of what you believe.
Yeah,
there's a time and a place for that. We do it on this podcast weekly. Part of that, and you'll hear us say this tonight, you'll hear us say this in past episodes and future episodes. It's about having a relationship. If you don't have that relationship, you can try and convince somebody till you're blue in your face, and it doesn't do any good. The other aspect of that, and I firmly believe this, if you don't live by your own set of rules, how can you expect somebody to believe them?
Yeah, absolutely.
I live by my own moral code that I've built through society norms and my own self-esteem or self-confidence, whatever, self-revelations. And if I don't abide by those, I can't expect anybody else to believe, like, you don't need the Bible to tell you can be a good person. Which is my big draw away from the Bible. Like, I don't need the Bible to know that I'm a good person or to have my own moral code. And walking my own moral code is what, to me, is walking the walk.
And I want to mention your article as well, which I thought was a really good article you just wrote about being an atheist in the workplace. I think some, what I call angry atheists, people who don't believe in God but will argue about it all day, like bring it up when it's not being talked about, should check that article out. And then also, Christians should probably read it to try to understand a little more. If you have an atheist in your workplace, he's not a disease, he's a person, he just has a different belief than you.
We actually had at my workplace, our boss actually had a conversation, and I don't know how it got brought up to his mind, but so like we pray, and I say we pray, they pray, and our
you block them with your hands. You put your hands over the head.
I'm like hovering over everybody. No, nothing's going out of here. Like I'm not being involved in this. So they pray during the company meetings because I'm pretty sure like everybody else in my company is religious. I could be wrong. But I'm fairly open now that I've been there a bit about my lack of beliefs. But he's like, we do this prayer, and if for whatever reason you want to step out, like, that's totally okay. He's like, we're not gonna stop praying, but like we're not trying to force this on you at all. And I thought that was really cool. It's just be mindful if you're somebody who like openly practices religion. There's other people, and expect that it's okay for them to openly practice atheism as long as neither parties are being dicks to each other about it. Like,
right. I think it was good. It's like, hey, we're gonna keep doing what we're doing, but we're not gonna like make you do it. We're not gonna offend you by making you do it. Yeah. And
I just that for me, like when somebody does that, I always do the trick what I do with Corin, my son. Just bow and look down. You're good. Why are we doing this?
Shh. Just pet his head.
Yeah.
Get in the closet.
When you got married, is one of the first time Corin ran into that.
I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah. So that's super solid. I was like, yes, I've done my job. But yeah, I think being open is the biggest thing on both sides of the fence. Whether you're a believer or a non-believer, you have to be open to the other side, because that'll only strengthen your beliefs or starkly change you. But either way, you're not going to progress unless you're open.
And I think you have to be willing to say, man, that's a good point. I don't have an answer for that. Like, that's good. There's some things that I've heard in this show, some emails we got, and Micah had sent us one, and I'm looking at some of the questions that Micah has, and I go, man, that's a good point. But that doesn't mean that I'm like, well, God can't be real. It's okay to have doubts. It's okay to ask questions, but you should definitely pursue, and I always tell my students, my old students, pursue the questions you have. Like, ask them, but don't expect people to give you an answer. Look for the answers yourself. If you're not happy with the answer, ask somebody else with someone more experienced. Ask somebody who's been in the game a while. Look up several different resources. Don't be satisfied with one man giving an answer, or if you can't find it, keep asking.
Yeah, I think I had a good dose of reality when we did the Adam and Eve episodes, because normally with the Bible, I feel very confident about taking things apart and like slashing them up and being like, well, that was obviously fake. But I had a hard time breaking apart the Adam and Eve story on you. So I eventually will want to revisit that episode in the future, because I felt so like, defeated's not the right word, but I didn't feel on top of it. Normally I feel on top of our discussions going, yeah, I've got an answer for this, this, and this. I didn't have one for the Adam and Eve thing, right? And so that for me was very eye-opening. I was like, oh, maybe I can't like just rip that one apart, and maybe there are answers I don't have yet, and that sucked. That was very eye-opening. I was sucked in a good way. It was very eye-opening.
Yeah, well, see, that's what I'm talking about, man. That's the good stuff. It's helped us grow. Either way.
The other thing I want to talk about that I wanted to get through the meat of this before. You said faith. You have faith on both sides of the table. I don't agree with that. I think being an atheist is the lack of faith.
Well, I don't mean faith in a religious sense. I mean, you just like, I have faith in this person.
I don't like faith in its traditional sense, not its definitional use. A lot of the times we use these words, we don't use them by the book definitions. We use them the way that the world uses them, and faith is one of those. If you have faith in something, right? I don't have faith that God doesn't exist.
Yeah,
I have
faith
a belief.
In science.
No, I have a belief.
Belief in science, okay.
I have a belief in science. I trust science. I don't have a faith in science. I know science works. It's been proven time and time again. So I believe science so much to the point that faith doesn't exist for me. Now, I have faith in humanity, but that's totally different. Mm-hmm. I try to keep that different. I try to keep that separated, because when you use the word faith, 98% of this world goes, religion.
Oh, honey, he's a Christian.
Oh, bless your heart.
You need to meet my niece.
Yeah, she's so sweet. She sings in the Sunday choir every week. Like, shut up. I don't care. I mean,
believe. I meant to say believe.
I meant to say believe. They're so similar. What do I do?
Oh, honey, get him out of here.
No. Back an atheist. Look at that tattoo.
She starts like belittling you.
Yeah, but in the nicest way. Bless your heart.
Bless your heart.
God will provide for you one day, honey. Mm-hmm. Like, what the fuck? Yeah. No, so if you haven't read the article, don't take our word for it. Don't take what we say on merit. Go read that article.
It's a good article.
It's not very long. As far as articles are considered, it's probably 1,000 words, maybe a little bit less. You can knock it out inside of 10, 15 minutes. But you will find yourself rereading it. Like I read it, I had to read it twice because you read it the first time and you go, that's pretty good. That's pretty good nuggets, and I had to go down and read it and kind of just internalize each little bit of section. Like it was a really good article to find. So, kudos, Devan.
Well, can't do it all the time, but I will try.
And then when he doesn't, I will belittle him on the show.
Just have a little faith in me.
I have belief in you, which is totally different because you have come through.
I'll take it.
So, let's catch people up. We're gonna do the armbands, and we've talked about that on the Instagram, the Twitter, and
all the
social
social media, Facebook.
Yeah.
I did on Facebook even.
Yeah, because I just post from my Instagram like every which way, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for that post specifically. There we go. If you want to receive one of the wristbands, you need to do one of the following things. You can go and subscribe on our website at thepastorandatheistshow.com. That one's really cool because I plan on writing an article a week. It may not always be theologically focused, but all the same, you'll get content every single week.
Yeah, we're trying almost really to stay away from that stuff, just to give you guys a little insight more to what we like video games, nerdy stuff. He's got meditation, just to try to mix it up.
Yeah, we'll do a little bit of different stuff. Basically, that's going to give you something to read every single week. And you'll get that in your email, and you can open up your email and go, hey, this is much better than that bullshit email from Amazon. I don't need a fourth pancake maker, even though it's $12, $30 off. I'll take 4 of this, right? No, go read the article instead. The other thing you can do is subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, and when you subscribe, please review it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that way we can see, because we can't see who subscribed, so you have to review it. That way we can call you out on the show and say, hey, so and so left a review. You've been selected for an armband, and here's how you do that. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. To get there, you can go to tinyurl.com/tpaz, or you can go to our website, because this week that will be on our website and you'll be able to get to it from there. You can review us at iTunes, we've covered that, and you can participate in the chat during the live shows. When we get everybody rolling and everybody's chatting, we'll pick somebody, maybe multiple people, out of the chat, and we'll get you connected with us. Now, here's the thing. We don't have like a unified The Pastor and Atheist show like Twitter or Instagram.
Right.
And I don't know what to do about that because it feels like a bitch to manage that. Because I already fucking hate my social media as is. I just do.
Just add another one in it. I mean, I could always add another one. We could talk about doing it, but
well, I mean, the thing is, here's the deal. Go follow our Instagrams, because that's where you're gonna hit us the most.
Yeah.
Because we both, and I speak for Devan, and he can correct me if I'm wrong. We both use Instagram to post out our asses.
Yes.
Like I've got a Tumblr and a Twitter, and they primarily are cross-posting from Instagram, like the majority of the time. I'm trying to work on getting better at social media because I have several people in my life going, well, you really need to be on social media. And I go, I don't want it. I'm an old man. So if another way is you can follow us on Instagram, because I will be giving out some to my Instagram followers, and I know Devan will be doing the same. So you can actually double your chances by following us both on Instagram. And when you do get picked, regardless of where you get picked from, we're going to ask you to go follow us and message us on Instagram so we can, or comment on us so we can get your information from them. So yeah, that's going to be a requirement anyways. We're doing a big social media push. We're doing a big brand push. Apparently a lot of finger guns are going into this.
Not fair, man. Oh wait, 2 double barrel. Bang, bang.
You know what we need to do is I need to make that into a GIF of you like double barreling it so I can put that everywhere when things go wrong. Like Whoops.
We send it as a virus, and my face is just on the screen, like bouncing up and down.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, gosh.
So we'll get those wristbands in soon-ish, and then I'll be repping that like nobody's business. So that's my update for the show, Devin. Do you have a different update or anything else?
Oh man, that sounds good. I would say if you're going to review the show, if you've already subscribed and maybe your username's a little weird, we want to send you an armband anyway because you've already subscribed with us. Shoot us an email starting now because we won't be able to know. But shoot us an email, say, hey, this is my username. I subscribed. Hate you guys, but I want a free armband. Send us an email at thepastorandAtheistShow@gmail.com with your name and your address. And I'm going to be sending those out from my own place, but I'm not going to put my address on there. I'm going to put my name. I'm going to put your address, and I'm going to put an armband in each one of those things. So that's how you will get your armband.
Yeah, and just to clarify, like it's not like we're going to give every single person who emails us one. We're going to be selecting from those. And one of the best ways to guarantee a wristband is to send in a fucking question. Because if you send in a question and we talk about it on show, you get a wristband. So we actually owe 2 wristbands. We're like down 2. Because I'm retroactiving this shit, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we got 2 that we have to send out as soon as they come in. So that leads me to opening up my email. And I know Micah's one of them. And
Chad the Atheist.
Chad the Atheist, yes. So Micah and Chad the Atheist, if you will email us the address that you would like a wristband to, and Chad the Atheist suddenly goes, I'm gonna send you a bullshit request because guess what? I don't want your fucking wristband.
You guys berated me.
You guys were assholes. Yeah. So that's good, man. I think it was a good episode, and I enjoyed it very much.
So give us likes on this page as well if you liked it. That'd be great. Give us the little thumbs up at the bottom of the video. If you didn't like us, don't give us a thumbs down. Just don't do anything. All right?
Yeah.
Just don't.
Thumbs downs are bad. I don't like it. It's like when you boo at somebody. I don't feel comfortable when you do that. Let's go through. Where can people find you?
On Instagram, as he said, but it's Thunderarms. THUNDERARMZ. Thunderarms with a Z. And then on Twitter, you can find me at Thunderarms, spelled the same, all lowercase with a 7 at the end. I don't use that one a whole lot. Again, I push from Instagram to that. So those places you can find me.
Hey, read the chat, Devin.
Yes? No, we have 5 rules. You will follow the 5 rules.
Devin says, nope, I'm the fucking god of this. No, I think she's going to get an armband, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're students of mine and you've ever sent Kaylee, JC, Izzy, any of those people, I'm going to get you armbands. Don't worry about that.
Devin, if there's something I can do to help, like just dump them to save you postage, like if you want to send me certain ones and I can like take it to your church or something, like I don't know of a good way to get them to everybody, but if you need me to deliver something local, I'm willing to do that. Like obviously I don't want to deliver like 10 and go all throughout Columbia, but if I can save you a couple dollars and some time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So for me, you can find me on Tumblr, Instagram, and Twitter, and Snapchat.
Whoa.
Your IT hero. That's the possessive your. I'm decently on Snapchat. Like I view it. I try to do stuff with it. Actually, let me do something right now. All right, hold on. Let me use the Snapchat. See, I'm making something for my wall here right now. So that's content you could have had if you were just following me on Snapchat.
Are you gonna send that to me? I want to see it.
All right, I sent it to the important people in my life.
Whoa.
So if you didn't get that, that's because you're not following me on Snapchat. We're not friends, and you're not an important person in my life. Yet, you could be there. The inner circle of trust that is my Snapchat. So yeah, your IT hero. You can also find me at the email address. I'm monitoring that just as much as Devin now. Yes, that's progress. As well as the website. So, thanks for listening, and thanks to the people who participated in chat. even if they just said, "Hey, my body's here." So.
And as always, love you. Mean it.
Oh no, I can't find the button to shut it off!
I'm now just staring